Part 7. Kumogakure forced me, and the Third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 63. Relative to the battle on Uchiha Fugaku's side, it was much more difficult for Shisui. With his Mangekyo Sharingan level insight, he was able to clearly see the high-speed movements of the Fourth Hokage. But his speed can't keep up. Although he is called Shunshen Shisui, Shisui's speed is still not as fast as that of the Fourth Hokage, who is known as the fastest in the current ninja world. But, in terms of speed, he also has a trump card. Instantly stop the flow of water? At your age, you are proud enough to be able to beat me in speed to this level. The Fourth Hokage, who was covered with thunder release chakra, said calmly. To be fair, he admired Shisui very much. It would be great if such a person was their Kumogakure. Why do all good things come from Konoha? Byakugan, yes, so is the Sharingan. However, if you can only reach this level, then you'll stop here today. The Fourth Hokage's expression turned serious, and he showed no mercy. Thunder escape. Thunder level. Thunder chakra flashing with blue arcs gathered on the palm of his hand, and the Fourth Hokage struck directly at Shisui. Click. The Fourth Hokage's eyes condensed. The green bone-shaped Susanoo blocked. He took a serious blow. What's this? The Fourth Hokage took a step back and said in surprise. At the same time, two behemoths appeared in front of everyone one after another from Fugaku and Yukito. Why did Yukito-sama transform into a tailed beast so quickly? What is that red giant? He can actually fight against the two-tailed tail that has completely transformed into a tailed beast. A group of Kumogakure ninjas looked at the sudden appearance of the giant thing and fled away one after another. Big brother, that red one, yo, Ushiki said. Yes, Susanoo, yo. Next to him, Kiribi, who had not intervened in the battle before, said in a strange tone. Just now, Ushiki also reminded him that he should be careful about this Susanoo. Susanoo. The Fourth Hokage's eyes were a little solemn. Soon, he discovered that the 8-foot Magatama's attack was comparable to the tailed beast Jade. Is this an attack that humans can do? Compare. Stop watching from the sidelines and resolve the battle as soon as possible. The Fourth Hokage said in a deep voice. He and Uchiha Shisui were fighting alone just now, and Kiribi did not intervene for the time being. When Shisui heard this, his expression changed, and the power of the Mangekyo Sharingan burst out in his eyes. Sanohu. Moreover, it was the second form from the beginning. A green half-length giant holding a spiral sword appeared on the earth out of thin air. At the same time, facing the joint efforts of the Fourth Hokage and Kiribi, Shisui did not dare to be careless. We don't have the speed of the Fourth Hokage yet. Another Susanoo. The Fourth Hokage exclaimed. There are two ninjutsus that he has never seen before. How come two of them appeared at once today? Susanoo, 99. Shisui ignored the Fourth Hokage's surprise. The green Susanoo's chest armor opened, and dense arrows roared towards the Kumogakure ninja. He hoped for peace, but when faced with the invasion of foreign enemies, he wouldn't be stupid enough to show mercy. Damn it! The Fourth Hokage looked at the Kumogakure ninjas who were killed one after another and cursed angrily. Stop playing. Deal with him as soon as possible. Oh yeah. We are the strongest, of combination, oh yeah. While Kiribi was still rapping in a nondescript tone, he also turned on the tailed beast mode. Several octopus-like tentacles stretched out and tightly wrapped around Shisui's Susanoo. However, the corners of Shisui's mouth it was a slight movement. Suddenly, the huge green Susanoo disappeared instantly. The next second, the green Susanoo, holding a high-speed rotating spiral sword, stabbed Kiribi, who was beginning to transform into a tailed beast. Compare. The Fourth Hokage roared. Boom. A bull-headed octopus body monster with a broken horn suddenly appeared with a bang. Did it fail? Shisui was a little disappointed as he watched the high-speed rotating spiral sword being gradually blocked. This was an attack he carried out with the help of the flying thunder god Konao that he had secretly buried before. However, I didn't expect Kirabi to completely transform into a tailed beast at the last moment. Was that the flying thunder god's technique just now? The fourth Raikage said with an ugly expression. He could be sure that the moment just now was not achieved through physical speed. Such sudden disappearance and reappearance out of thin air had to remind him of the former fourth Hokage of Konoha, Namikaze Minato. Back then, he and Kirabi were easily suppressed by Namikaze Minato with this move. Shisui was silent and did not answer. He had not learned the Flying Thunder God technique for long. Being able to barely teleport once was already the limit. He can still only feel the static Flying Thunder God Konao, so he can only hide the Flying Thunder God Konao in a specific place in advance. Unexpectedly, someone in Konoha actually learned the Flying Thunder God technique, and he was even younger than the original Namikaze Minato. He was really a formidable young man. The fourth Raikage praised seriously, and then shook his head. Why do such geniuses come from Konoha? You, the third Hokage of Konoha, can only torment your own people. If we ask Konoha to hand over people, he will find a way to deal with your own people. What is there to remember about such a weak village? Shisui didn't say anything, and Hitomi continued to pour madly into Susanoo. In an instant, the green Susanoo's height skyrocketed again, even surpassing the height of the eight-tailed Jayaki. The Keratin dog armor blessed the green sequel titan above. Susanoo in his third form. What? The fourth Raikage was shocked. If the appearance of Susanoo before was just a general surprise to him, then, now that Susanoo, Shisui, has exceeded the height of the tailed beast, he can't help but let him. The vigilance was raised to the highest level. Kirabi gently pushed the round sunglasses in front of him, and rarely said anything more. Only now did he understand why Uchiha wanted him to be careful of Uchiha Susanoo. This kind of power. It's really not something that humans can have. A drop of blood and tears left in the corner of Shisui's eyes. He felt that his pupil power was rapidly being consumed, and a sharp pain filled his eyes. Konoha is not weak. Shisui stood in the third form of Susanoo, roared, threw the 8-foot Megatama with 3 Megatama in one hand, and hit the combination with the high-speed rotating spiral sword in the other hand. I feel that Susanoo's current state will not last long. Susanoo itself at this stage is not very stable, and it is extremely taxing on the eyes. In front of Susanoo, who is as tall as a mountain, he activates the Thunder Chakra mode. The fourth Raikage could only dodge in all directions. Without time to charge up, it would be difficult for ordinary attacks to cause damage to Susanoo in the third stage. The tentacles of the eight-tailed Jayaki could only hold onto the spiral sword desperately. Well. Shisui covered his eyes in pain. The Susanoo that wrapped around him slowly disintegrated and disappeared. Does Susanoo have any expiration date? The fourth Raikage had a frightened look on his face. The power of Susanoo in his third form just now was too oppressive. However, this is more reasonable. How could there not be such a god-level power? What restriction? The fourth Raikage slowly moved toward Uchiha Shisui. The Thunder Chakra mode in his body was always on. When he saw Shisui covering his eyes in pain, the fourth Raikage reluctantly relaxed. He breathed a sigh of relief. Sure enough, there must be a price for using such super-standard power. Uchiha Shisui, I admire your strength. How about joining our hidden cloud village? Although he knew it was unlikely, the fourth Raikage couldn't help but open his mouth to solicit. What is that? Before Shisui could answer, the fourth Raikage suddenly saw a light blue stream of light in the sky. It looked like a meteorite. Wrong. The fourth Raikage's expression changed. It's too fast. This speed. What on earth is that? Kumogakure forced me, and the Third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 64. Almost within a few breaths of seeing the light blue stream of light on the horizon, the fourth Hokage saw the stream of light landing in front of him. It's not a meteorite, but a person. Hinatan Naraku has entered the Tsansagan chakra mode, and is wrapped in a light blue chakra coat. Hyaga Naraku flew in with an indescribable speed, and even brought an air storm when he landed. Ignoring the astonished fourth Hokage, Hinatan Naraku looked at Uchiha Shisui. Reach out. A soft and gentle Tensagan chakra was thrown at Shisui. Naraku-senpai. Ji Shui only felt that with the injection of this chakra, the stinging pain caused by the wanton squandering of pupil power in his eyes completely disappeared. Not only that, the faintly declining vision has recovered a little. Even he feels that he can now completely start the Susanoo battle again. Hyaga Naraku nodded. He had just noticed the third form of Susanoo activated by Shisui from a distance. Although it has the power to completely suppress the fourth Hokage and the complete eight tails, it is very unstable. Cannot last. You go deal with the Kumogakure troops and leave this to me. Although the Uchiha ninjas faced almost a situation of 1 against 10, the scene did not look very bad. On the one hand, they took advantage of the air advantage. Most of the Uchiha ninjas who jumped off the giant eagle were also elites of the Uchiha clan. The elite among them. There are those who are good at large-scale ninjutsu, those who are good at illusion, and those who are good at body and swordsmanship. They rely on the large-scale fire and thunder ninjutsu to block the frontal offensive of Kumogakure's troops. And Uchiha, who is good at body and illusion. The wave ninjas clashed with the elite ninjas in the Kumogakure army. Often, the careless Kumogakure ninjas were controlled by the Sharingan in a single encounter. And these people would be tortured by the Uchiha ninjas who were responsible for supporting the giant eagle. Harvest lives without throwing. On the other hand, Uchiha Fugaku fights against the two tails, and Uchiha Shisui fights against the eight tails. The confrontation between the two behemoths makes some of Kumogakure's large troops unable to take care of themselves. Good. Shisui nodded without hesitation, and then rushed towards the battlefield of the large army. Damn it! Compare. Stop him. The fourth Hokage originally didn't care about Shisui's departure. But he soon saw that Shisui once again activated the green Susanoo. The second form of Susanoo. The emerald green Susanoo. The giant rushed directly into the Kumogakure team. Facing the second form of Susanoo's Megatama of Yasaka and Susanoo 99, most of the Kumogakure ninjas were powerless to fight back. Your opponent is me. Hyaga Naraku looked at the hill-like eight tails and said in a calm tone. Who are you? Is it a Konoha ninja? The fourth Hokage frowned. The speed of the Konoha ninja's arrival was wrong. According to his estimation, their Kumogakure assault force should have advanced some distance before stopping on their own initiative. And until they stopped, Konoha's blocking force they may not be able to arrive. But now, not only did an Uchiha team suddenly appear. There was also a flying guy who suddenly appeared to stop them. How? Didn't the Hokage-sama keep clamoring for Konoha to hand over me, the murderer? Hyaga Naraku joked. Are you the Hyaga ninja named Hyaga Naraku? The fourth Hokage suddenly recalled the information sent back by the spies. The leader of the mission who was planning to kidnap the Hyaga clan's daughter failed and was captured by a Hyaga clan ninja. Then, in order to avoid leaking the information, the leader of the mission, on the one hand, he committed suicide directly for the follow-up plan. After that, the members of the mission to Konoha took advantage of the situation and made a request for Konoha to hand over the murderer. And the subsequent development did not exceed Kumogakure's expectations, whether or not hand over the murderer, and Konoha itself will start a fight. The fourth generation Hokage even learned from the news sent back by spies. Konoha's third-generation Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen wanted to call that person Hinata from the beginning. Naruko's branch ninjas were handed over, but they were beaten back. Later, Sarutobi Hiruzen even sent people to attack Hyuga Naruko, but failed. I didn't expect that a murderer like you would dare to come here. The fourth Raikage's body was covered with lightning, and he slashed at Hyuga Naruko with a hand sword. Although they succeeded in causing internal fighting in Konoha, their plan to capture the Byakugan was disrupted by Hyuga Naruko. Cut. Spitting lightly, Hinata Naruko did not dodge, his figure moved slightly, and appeared directly in front of the fourth Raikage. He stretched out his hand and punched. The fourth Raikage flew out directly. Are all the people in Union Village so shameless? I believe the Raikage knows better than anyone whether I am the murderer or not. Hyuga Naruko said coldly to the fourth Raikage who flew out. The third Hokage and the fourth Raikage. One wanted to hand over his own people who had no fault. The other wanted to shamelessly rob others after failing. Hand over the murderer. It's hard to say which one of these two is more disgusting. One is cowardly and hypocritical. The other is greedy and shameless. Ahem. After the fourth Raikage knocked down several big trees, he became frightened from the smoke and dust. The surprise was palpable. He was clearly the first to strike, but he was knocked out in reverse. Even. He didn't see clearly what Hinata Naruko did. Compare. Join forces to deal with him. The fourth Raikage said with a vigilant expression. Kiribi also exited the tailed beast form at this time. The Susanoo who had just dealt with Uchiha Shisui was in a completely tailed beast form that was more suitable. But now, Kiribi mobilizing the chakra of the 8 tails, the tailed beast chakra coat is red with bubbles rolling all over the body. In Kiribi's opinion, this form is more convenient to deal with Hyuga Naruko, who is only the size of an ordinary person. I don't know why you came here alone. Do you think you can be of any use by yourself? The fourth Raikage shook his head and said. Even though he didn't see Hinata Naruko's movements clearly just now. But as long as he and Kiribi join forces. Except for Susanoo who was in Shisui's third form just now, no one can be his opponent. The last Namikaze Minato who could use his speed to fool their combination is dead. Even Uchiha Shisui's Susanoo is useless. After getting rid of you, the 8 tails will stop him again. And after this, all of you will die here today. The fourth Raikage said fiercely. In the opinion of the fourth Raikage, as long as he and Kiribi can quickly deal with Hinata Naruko. After that, 2 perfect Jinchuriki blocked Uchiha's 2 Susanos. And after that, the team of nearly 3,000 people he led could easily defeat the remaining Uchiha ninjas. Oh! Hyuga Naruko slowly raised his hand in the direction of the 2 tails. The repulsive force of his turning eyes exploded instantly. Boom! The 2 tails, as huge as a mountain, were blown away as if they were weightless. So, if there are 2 Susanos, how long can your men last? Hyuga Naruko said to the fourth Raikage who looked shocked. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Kumogakure forced me, and the third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 65. Yukito. The fourth Raikage roared in anger. The 2-tailed cat demon was as tall as a mountain, but just now it was knocked away like a toy. What ninjutsu is that? Wind escape? No. Wrong. The fourth Raikage looked at Hinata Naruko and couldn't understand it at all. He just saw Hinata Naruko reaching out a hand towards the second tail, and then the second tail was bounced away. He subconsciously thought it was some kind of wind escape ninjutsu. However, it is impossible for him not to feel the strong wind that can blow your way away. How did you do that, little brat? Is it the power of your eyes? The fourth Raikage looked at Hinata Naruko's eyes that were obviously different from the ordinary Byakugan. There were light blue pupils in the middle of the pure white eyes, and there were white snowflake patterns in the pupils. Even though they wanted Konoha very much. Byakugan, but also more interested in Byakugan's detection ability. Compared with Uchiha's Sharingan, Byakugan has greater strategic value in war. Unexpectedly, Hyuga Nariku, who is also a Hyuga ninja, has such a magical ability. Power. Thinking of this, the fourth Raikage felt a little pity. If the third Hokage of Konoha had given Hyuga Nariku to Kumogakure, would these eyes now belong to them? Never mind. The fourth Raikage shook his head. He looked at Hinata Nariku, who was wearing a light blue chakra coat, and then at the two Susanos on the other side. After the two tails were knocked away for thousands of meters, they fell directly on the ground, unable to get up again. Without restraint, Uchiha Fugaku drove the Susanoo, and together with Shisui Susanoo, they rushed into Kumogakure's troops and wreaked havoc. Let these two giants continue to wreak havoc. If so, Kumogakure's army may be completely wiped out. Compare. Let's take action together and resolve the battle in 3 minutes. As long as we deal with you, whether it's the Byakugan or the Sharingan, it will all be ours. After saying that, the blue lightning on the fourth Raikage's body surged again. Yilei Shen Fury Thunder X. Like a blue lightning, it kicked towards Hyuga Nariku. Hinata Nariku's expression did not change at all, and his figure suddenly flashed and disappeared directly from the side of the fourth Raikage. What? The pupils of the fourth generation thunder shadow in the air shrank. Disappeared. Is it the flying thunder god again? Hello? Where are you looking? However, Hinata Nariku's voice came from above the fourth Raikage. Go down. With a low cry, Hinata Nariku raised his foot and stepped hard on the abdomen of the fourth Raikage. Boom! The ground cracked open. The fourth Raikage's entire body was embedded in the ground. Thunder escape, thunder plow hot knife. Kyrubi on the side also took the opportunity to take action. Wrapped in a red-tailed beast chakra coat, Kyrubi put his elbow on his side and hit Hinata Nariku's neck. Your speed is even slower. Hyuga Nariku didn't dodge, and directly reached out to catch Kyrubi's fierce blow. What? Kyrubi's expression was dull for a moment. Maybe someone can dodge his thunder plow hot knife. But no one has ever been able to take this move head-on so easily. Don't be in a daze. Hyuga Nariku raised his kick and kicked Kyrubi away, who was caught by him. Compare. The fourth Raikage, who had escaped from the underground, looked at his sworn brother who was beaten away and shouted. You damn brat! The speed is actually so fast. The blue arcs all over the fourth Raikage's body became brighter and brighter. The light yellow hair stood up one by one in the thunder and lightning. The fourth Raikage can now be sure. Hyuga Nariku did not avoid it with the flying thunder god technique just now. Then it just disappeared too quickly, which gave him the illusion. In fact, Hinata Nariku simply avoided it by relying on his extremely fast speed. You little brat, stop looking down on others. The fourth Raikage was furious. He has always been known for his speed. Not only was he crushed by Hyuga Nariku's speed, he was even stepped into the soil. Moreover, the fourth Raikage could even feel that Hyuga Nariku was looking at his eyes were a little disappointed. That look seemed to say that he, the Raikage, was nothing more than that. Hinata Nariku was indeed a little disappointed now. The enhancement brought by opening the reincarnation eye was greater than he imagined. He had great expectations for the fourth Raikage, the fastest physically in the ninja world. But after the previous fight, he realized that the fourth Raikage's speed was far worse than him now. Think about it. In the original work, the reincarnation of the Eye the Chakra mode fight is against Naruto, who has turned on the nine-tailed sage mode. And Naruto, who has initially mastered the nine-tailed chakra and turned on the nine-tailed chakra mode, is already able to compete with the fourth Raikage in terms of speed. Down. However, that was only Naruto in Kyuubi chakra mode. After that, Naruto and Kyuubi reached a reconciliation and were able to fully utilize Kyuubi chakra, turning on the Kyuubi Lama mode. Next, with Kyuubi's consent, adding Senjutsu to the 9 Lama mode, and turning on the Fairy Fox mode. If the speed of the Tsengagen chakra mode and Naruto's Fairy Fox mode are the same, then, the Reincarnation chakra mode and the 4th generation Raikage, there is at least 2 levels of difference between the Thunder chakra modes. You damn brat! The 4th Raikage looked at the undisguised disappointment in Hinata Nariku's eyes and became even more angry. The Thunder chakra all over his body was activated to the strongest level. Kyuubi on the other side is now standing up again. Compare. Use that move. With a shout, the 4th Raikage and Kyuubi rushed towards Hinata Nariku from 2 directions in perfect agreement. Chwenyu Thunder Plow Hot Knife. The 2 of them roared at the same time and rushed towards Hyuga Nariku in the middle. Junyu Thunder Plow Hot Knife. This is the strongest move performed by the UB group of Kumoyan village. They also use Thunder Release Thunder Plow Hot Knife. The 2 people attacked the enemy in the middle from 2 directions. Kid. Watch me twist your head off. The 4th Raikage looked at Hinata Nariku standing in the middle and said with a ferocious smile. No matter how fast you are, you can't hide from this move. The speed is okay. Hinata Nariku did not dodge, but stood directly in the middle, grabbing the arms of the 2 men with both hands. Impossible. The 4th Raikage and Kyuubi were both shocked. However, the strength is almost the same. After saying that, Hyuga Nariku grabbed one person with one hand, followed the momentum of the 2 people, spun his body around, and threw the 2 people out together. Boom! The bodies of the 4th Raikage and Kyuubi were broken. One tree after another, they disappeared into the forest. Kumogakure forced me, and the 3rd Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 66. Hello. How could it be possible? Is that Hyuga Nariku so powerful? I used to wonder why Shisui would respect a guy from the Hyuga family so much. I didn't expect him to be so strong. On another battlefield, the Uchiha ninjas who stayed on the Black Giant Eagle also noticed the battle on Hyuga Nariku's side. After Shisui and Fugaku's 2 Susanos joined the battlefield, the pressure on their side was great. One is dark red and the other is emerald green, but they are still in the 2nd form of Susanoo. Ordinary ninjutsu cannot cause any harm to Susanoo in this form. I was originally wondering how he dared to come here alone, and even dared to face Union's UB combination alone. Some Uchiha ninjas said with emotion. Whether it's speed or strength, he seems to be above the 4th Raikage. The Uchiha next to him also nodded and said. He could easily catch the opponent's attack and throw the opponent out. The gap can be said to be very obvious. In the woods. The 4th Raikage panted heavily and walked slowly. He came out. There was a little blood on the corner of his mouth. The thunder escape armor wrapped around his body was a little dim. The 4th generation Raikage looked at Hinata Nariku, who was standing there, as if nothing had happened, with fear in his eyes. No wonder the 3rd generation Hokage of Konoha clearly wanted to hand him over, but there is no way to kill him. Even the Golden Flash Namikaze Minato, faced with the cooperation of their UB group, could only rely on the speed of the Flying Thunder God to make them unable to do anything. However, the 4th Raikage recalled looking at the battle with Hyuga Nariku just now. 2 words slowly appeared in my mind, crushing. Speed and power, both pure crushing. Not only did he easily receive the strongest attack from him and Kyuubi, but he could also take advantage of it. Throw them both away. Go on, don't we have to resolve the battle in 3 minutes? Hyuga Nariku hooked his hand towards the 4th Raikage and said. You bastard! The 4th Raikage was furious, and the blue lightning light all over his body surged again. Thunder escape, thunder torment level GMI. It seems that because he was angered by Hinata Nariku, Raikage's speed was faster than before, his palm turned into a knife, and he slashed towards Hinata Nariku. Still not fast enough. Hyaga Nariku commented lightly, and then the figure disappeared instantly. The next moment, as fast as a space transfer, Hyaga Nariku appeared directly in front of the fourth Hokage, and punched the fourth Hokage away again. Lord Hokage. The cloud-hidden ninja couldn't help it. Send some people over to support Hokage-sama. The leader of Ari Kumogakure ordered. Their team's losses have already exceeded half. After the two Susanos of Uchiha Shisui and Uchiha Fugaku entered the field, they mowed the grass with almost unparalleled power, going crazy. Kill this Kumogakure ninja. Especially the second form of Suzanu's Yasaka Megatama, which is almost as powerful as the tailed beast Jade. But, although the situation on their side is very difficult, the situation on the fourth Hokage side is also very difficult. It's not optimistic. In comparison, supporting the Hokage side is obviously more important. However, just when the Kumogakure ninjas were about to detach some people to go to the Hokage side, a dark shadow covered their entire battlefield. Stop! Hundreds of giant black eagles covered the entire sky. Konoha's ninja troops arrived. As soon as they arrived, they saw the red and green giants harvesting lives wantonly among the Kumogakure troops. Is that Susanoo? Narashikaku's pupils on the giant eagle shrank. He recalled the records he had seen in the family books. The ultimate pupil technique that the Uchiha clan's Shurinan can use after opening the Mangekyo. That year and the first generation together with Naruto, the ninja world was pacified, Uchiha Madara's power. Susanoo. The symbol of destruction. But Narashikaku looked at the Uchiha ninjas fighting below and shook his head. No matter how powerful the power is, it is only aimed at people from outside the village. Everyone, join the fight and support the Uchiha clan. Narashikaku shouted an order. Yes. The Konoha ninjas responded one after another. Everyone felt a little ashamed. This time, it was the Uchiha clan, which they had always rejected, who took the lead on the battlefield when faced with danger. Moreover, the Uchiha clan's team of 300 people, faced with the injustice of nearly 3,000 Kumogakure, they still bravely stepped forward and stopped Kumogakure. Everyone couldn't help but sigh in their hearts. No matter how Uchiha is, he is still the Uchiha of their Konoha. He is better than Sarutobi High. It's much better to kill that old guy who cheated on you. If you don't get rid of me as soon as possible, all of you Kumogakure ninjas will be killed, right? Hyaga Nariku said with a malicious smile on his face as he looked at the Konoha ninja troops joining the battle. These are the militants who are plundering everywhere in Cloud Hidden Village. They won't have a long memory if they don't beat them up. You damn brat! The fourth Hokage roared and rushed towards Hyaga Nariku again. The number of ninjas in Konoha has now even exceeded the existing number of Kumogakure troops. If Hyaga Nariku is not dealt with as soon as possible, the Kumogakure he brought out will attack. The troops may really be wiped out. Heavy flow. Concentrate the thunder chakra on your elbow, and hit Hinata Nariku's chest with a powerful and heavy blow. Useless. Hyaga Nariku once again easily knocked the fourth Hokage away and mocked. With such little strength, do you think that all the good things in the ninja world should belong to you, Kumogakure? Do you dare to steal things from all the ninja world? Suddenly, octopus tentacles swept from behind Hinata Nariku and wrapped Hinata Nariku's body. I caught you, you brat, you looked down on us, you deserve to be punished, yo. Kilabi, who has octopus tentacles growing out of his body, said in a rap tone. Well done, bye. The fourth Hokage looked at Hinata Nariku being tied up and was overjoyed. Aren't you very fast? Now that you are tied up, what else can you do? You brat, let's see where you can escape. The fourth Hokage rushed towards Hinata Nariku at the fastest speed, stretched out his finger and went straight into Hinata Nariku's eyes. Your eyes belong to our union. Escape. Hyuga Naruko looked at the eight-tailed tentacles wrapping him without any panic. "Do you think you caught me?" As he said that, Hinata Naruko reached out and grabbed a tentacle wrapped around him. "Make no mistake. I caught you." "What?" Kilabi suddenly felt a bad premonition. The next second, the ferocious power came from the eight-tailed tentacles, and he flew up with him. He was caught and swung up. He was helpless in the air for a moment. Kirabi, who was in control of his body, was grabbed by Hyuga Naruko's tentacles and hit the fourth Hokage hard. "Kumogakure forced me, and the third Hokage persuaded me to die." Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 67. Lord Hokage. Then adults. The Kumogakure ninja who was fighting next to him was extremely worried. "Damn it, can anyone go over there and help a bunch of Hokage-sama? What is going on with these two giants? Won't the chakra be exhausted?" The Kumogakure ninja looked at the two Susanos wreaking havoc in the crowd and couldn't help but cursed angrily. Look, they seem to be unable to hold on any longer. Suddenly someone discovered that the color of Uchiha Fugaku's dark red Susanoo became a little darker. The same goes for the green one. They finally couldn't hold on any longer. The ninjas of Kumogakure almost cried with joy. These two Susanos killed almost half of their people. In addition to the people who were killed by the detonating talisman at the beginning, there were only nearly 3,000 ninja troops left at the beginning. Less than 1,000. In order to cause as much damage to Kumogakure's troops as possible, Fugaku and Shisui did not begrudge their eye power at all. Yasaka's Megatama seemed to be free of money and frantically smashed into Kumogakure's team, and Shisui's Susanoo 99 chakra arrows also caused a lot of damage to Yunyin. "Quickly separate some people and go to Hokage-sama, The Kumogakure ninja who was speaking suddenly found that the lower part of his neck had turned purple-black. While paying attention to that side, you should also pay attention to yourself. A ninja from the Abarame clan who was wrapped in black poisonous insects said calmly. More than 2,000 Konoha ninjas who arrived later and 300 Uchiha ninjas have all entered the battle. Kumogakure's numerical advantage over Konoha has been completely reverse. No need to hold back, just kill them all." Hyuga Naruko, who had just used Kirabi to knock over the fourth Hokage, ordered without any emotion. "Yes, Lord Naruko." A group of Konoha ninjas responded loudly. The fighting spirit is high. When they came, they were still worried about whether their team of 2,000 people could stop Kumogakure's assault force. If nothing else, just talk about Kumogakure the fourth Hokage and the two perfect Jinchuriki of the village. They didn't know who could stop them. However, when they arrived on the giant black bird, what they saw was Kumogakure's team. The two raging Susanos, as well as Hyuga Naruko, who suppressed the Kumogakure team head-on. They thought that if they could barely stop the Kumogakure team, it would be considered a victory. At most, they would be able to stop the Kumogakure team. Rush back. I never expected that. Now it is Yunyin who needs to worry about whether they can escape back to the Kingdom of Thunder. Cough. The fourth Hokage vomited blood and pushed Kirabi away from him. Although the Thunder armor can greatly improve his defense, it does not mean that he will not be injured at all. He was beaten away by Hinata Naruko one after another, and his internal organs had been seriously injured. In comparison, Kirabi is still in better condition now. Kirabi is in the form of a tailed beast coat, and the 8 tails chakra coat wrapped around him not only provides defense but also heals Kirabi's injuries. Compare. Transform into a tailed beast completely, otherwise no one will be able to come back alive today. The fourth Hokage looked at the battlefield on the other side, anxious. Okay, leave it to me, the invincible Kirabi, to kill the brat, oi. While singing with strange emphasis, one after another octopus tentacles emerged from the body. With the power that overwhelmed a large forest, the full body of the 8-tailed ox ghost appeared again. I admit that you are strong. But you are also stupid. The fourth Raikage looked at Hinata Naraka coldly and said, "Even if your taijutsu is strong, you don't have Suzanu's moves, so you can't be a match for the Eight Tails. Your biggest mistake was not leaving those two Uchiha Susanoo's to deal with the Eight Tails." Eight Tails. Hyuga Naraka looked calmly at the huge monster that suddenly appeared in front of him. Kiribi, who had completely transformed into a tailed beast, started to use the strongest move of the tailed beast. Tailed Beast Jade. With Yin-Yang Chakra 2:8 proportions, through high-density chakra spheres compressed to the extreme in the tailed beast's mouth. Destroy it. Hinata Naraku. It's just a pity for your eyes. Strengthening the fourth Raikage, who didn't fall down, he stood behind the Eight Tails and said coldly. A tailed beast jade the size of the Eight Tails' head has roared towards Hinata Naraku. Hinata Naraku slowly raised his hand. Let's go back. The repulsive power of the Tensagen exploded. The tailed beast jade that was running towards me seemed to have hit a thick layer of sponge, and its speed became slower and slower until it stopped, and then it turned towards the direction of the Eight Tails. What? Kiribi and the fourth Raikage were shocked. The Eight Tails, who had no idea that the tailed beast jade would bounce back, even forgot to dodge, and was directly hit by the tailed beast jade. Boom! A shocking explosion sounded. It was over. After a while, the huge figure of the Eight Tails jumped out of the dust caused by the explosion and landed on the ground on the other side. This is his Byakugan ability. The fourth Raikage standing on the eight-tailed body murmured to himself. He just felt that everything that happened today was so magical. Before, Uchiha Shisui Susanoo could shake the tailed beast, and even Yasaka's Megatama, this move is as powerful as the tailed beast jade. Uchiha Fugaku can also activate that strange Susanoo and confront the two tails head-on. And now this Hyuga Naraku, who he thought was just a very strong taijutsu, also has the ability to fight the tailed beast head-on. The power of jade to fight back. Are any of these bloodstains so powerful? The fourth Raikage was a little doubtful about life for a moment. Wrong. He suddenly thought of something. This kind of thing must have a time limit, just like the two Susanoo's, it can't be used all the time. The fourth Raikage said with great certainty. Bye. Keep using the tailed beast jade and see how long he can last. Okay, the tailed beast jade explodes, boom. The Eight Tails opened its mouth wide, and one after another the purple-black tailed beast jade roared out one after another. The continuous tailed beast jade is indeed the strongest tailed beast besides the nine tails. Facing a large number of tailed beast jade whistling towards him, Hinata Naraku waved his hand, and tiny Tao Seeking Jade appeared in front of him. Seeking Tao Jade Light Cannon. The black Seeking Jade was wrapped with the light blue Tsansagen Chakra, turned into a dense energy light bomb, and hit the Eight Tails. How can this be? Kilabi burst out in shock, completely forgetting the tone of his previous rap. After the densely fired Tao Seeking Jade light cannons blocked his continuous tailed beast jade one by one, there were still many more behind. Can't hide. Absolutely can't hide. There are too many. Tailed Beast Volume 8. The eight-tailed ox demon was as huge as a mountain, with 8 tails like octopus tentacles. It completely wrapped its body and the fourth Raikage, and began to spin rapidly at high speed. The huge rotating storm destroyed the forest for several kilometers. One after another, the Tao-seeking jade light cannons hit the high-speed rotating 8 tails, knocking the huge 8 tails back bit by bit. Get out of the way. Is this really human power? There were so many tailed beast jade that suppressed the tailed beast head-on. The Konoha ninjas on the other side have already cleared away Kumogakure's team. After seeing the posture here, they did not dare to stay on the ground for any longer. They all boarded the ink-colored giant eagle again and went up to high altitude to hide. Boom 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 boom. Crazy explosions sounded one after another. The mountain peaks were razed to the ground by the crazy fighting. Soon after, the overwhelming jade light cannon disappeared. The rapidly rotating figure of the eight-tailed cow ghost also slowly stopped. At this moment the Eight Tails was already in a miserable state, being blown up by the Jade Dade. The Fourth Hokage was wrapped in the Eight Tails' tentacles and managed to escape. However, when he saw the battlefield that was destroyed beyond recognition, he was not surprised at all. His eyes are red. The nearly 3,000 Kumogakure troops he brought out have been wiped out. Even in the Third Ninja World War, Kumogakure village has never suffered such a heavy blow in any battle. Loss. Kill him. Compare. Kill them. Kill them all. The Fourth Hokage roared with red eyes. Kiribi was also in a heavy heart and said no more. The Eight Tails chakra condensed crazily in his mouth. A purple-black sphere continued to expand and grow, becoming the Eight Tails a tailed beast jade several times the size. Are you treating me like the 10 tails? Hyuga Nariku raised his hand, and 3 normal-sized Dao-seeking jade appeared in front of him. At the same time, they began to rotate at high speed, forming a light blue aperture. Jinlun reincarnation explosion. Accompanied by Hinatan Nariku's emotionless voice, the storm that swept everything hit the super large-tailed beast in the middle of the journey, knocking it back. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Kumogakure forced me, and the Third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 68. The tailed beast Jade, which was far larger than the tailed beast and had a diameter of more than 100 meters, hit the eight-tailed Chidi's head on. Boom! The dazzling white light illuminates everything. The shocking explosion covered all the sounds. The surrounding peaks were like a child's toys piled up with sand, completely destroyed without any resistance. The storm that swept everything flattened the forest within a radius of more than 10 kilometers. Got it? Don't be blown away. Clutching the feathers on the ink-colored giant eagle tightly, Konoha's ninjas did not even dare to raise their heads. Before the explosion, they had realized that something was wrong, and quickly withdrew from a distance of several kilometers, even driving the ink-colored giant. The eagle flew high into the sky. But even so, the storm caused by the explosion was beyond their ability to withstand. The giant black eagle controlled by the Nara clan ninja seemed to have been disconnected in such a storm. Like a kite, he could only barely control his body shape. It took a long time. The shocking explosion ended. Is the battle over? A Konoha ninja looked up from the giant ink-colored eagle, shrunk his head, and said with lingering fear. Before, he could only lie on the giant eagle, close his eyes tightly, and did not dare to raise his head at all. But even so, he could not. You can feel the dazzling white light like the sun setting on the ground. Seeing the battlefield in front of them, everyone was almost speechless in shock. In the center of the battlefield, the forest with a radius of more than 10 kilometers has completely disappeared and turned into a large yellow wasteland. Which side won? Such a powerful explosion, I wonder if Nariku-sama managed to escape it? At this point, many Konoha ninjas' hearts sank. Apparently, they didn't think anyone could survive such an explosion. No, look. Someone pointed to the air ahead. A tiny light blue figure was floating in the air. A group of Konoha ninjas were overjoyed and quickly drove the ink-colored giant eagle to fly over. Lord Nariku. Great, Nariku-sama won. Lord Nariku is simply a god. A group of Konoha ninjas looked at Hyuga Nariku, who was unharmed in the air, and their admiration was beyond words. Hyuga Nariku, who can knock back a tailed beast jade with a diameter of more than 100 meters, and can even easily survive such an explosion unscathed, they are like gods in their minds. Over there, it's the Eight Tails. Already killed. Someone saw the tattered mass of octopus tentacles on the other side. No, they escaped. Hyuga Nariku said nonchalantly. At the last moment, The Eight Tails used all its tentacles to wrap his body and the Fourth Hokage. And after the explosion, the Eight Tails left a section of tentacles to mislead. After that, the Fourth Hokage took Kiribi, who had been unconscious from the bombing, and left without daring to stop at all. Couldn't this kill him? Some Konoha ninjas went over to take a look in disbelief. Only to find out that what was left there was really just an eight-tailed tentacle used to confuse them. Commander-in-Chief, don't know what to do next. Narashikaku asked with a respectful expression. If he respected Hyuga Nariku before, it was because Hyuga Nariku destroyed Sarutobi Hiruzen's great image and overthrew the Third Hokage bit by bit. Then, now Narashikaku, the respect for Hyuga Nariku adds to the awe of strength. The awe of this godlike power. Of course we have to catch up. How can we stop if we don't hit Union Village? Hinatan Nariku said with a smile on his face. Hit Union Village? Narashikaku frowned subconsciously. Wouldn't this be too dangerous? Even if Narashikaku believes in Hyuga Nariku's powerful power, they don't know what cards Kumogakure has. And they can be sure that they have reached the other side's village, and the other side will definitely reveal all their cards. Kumogakure must be taught a lesson. Hyuga Nariku said categorically. This is not just because Kumogakure wants Konoha to hand over his so-called murderer. More importantly, Kumogakure can be said to be the most bellicose ninja village in the ninja world. Even, the three ninja wars started from Kumogakure. The trigger of the three wars was the disappearance of the Third Hokage of Tsunagakure village. At that time, Tsunagakure village was leaderless. Some people advocated continuing to search for the Third Hokage, while others advocated quickly selecting four on behalf of the Hokage. However, neither side could convince the other. Just when they were in a stalemate, they were raided by Kumogakure village. From then on, the Third Ninja World War officially broke out. In the Third War, Kumogakure vs Konoha, the three major ninja villages of Iwagakure and Tsunagakure have started war. Unlike Konoha, Konoha is passively besieged by the major ninja villages. Kumogakure takes the initiative to declare war on other ninja villages. It can be said that Ungakuren is the most bellicose ninja village in the entire ninja world, and almost all the people have a warlike atmosphere. For a war maniac like Kumogakure, blindly indulging them will not extinguish their arrogance, it will only make them more greedy. You have to teach them an impressive lesson and hit them hard all at once. Hyuga Nariku said firmly. There were at least 3 Kumogakure plundering incidents that clearly appeared in the original work. During the Third Hokage period, the Kumogakure ninja kidnapped the young Uzumaki Kusina and wanted to take her back as a Jinchuriki. However, he was stopped by Minato Namikaze, who was also a child at the time. During the Fourth Hokage period, he went even further and tried to kidnap the daughter of the Hyuga clan. Even after the kidnapping failed, Kumogakure shamelessly asked Konoha to find the murderer. In addition, there is another incident in the original book to seize the secret technique of Shuji no Kuni. That time, the Fourth Hokage even led the team himself. It can be said that Kumogakure is a group of shameless thieves and robbers from top to bottom. The fourth wife was kidnapped when she was young, and Hiruzen Sarutobi did not make any strong response at that time. And in this incident, Sarutobi Hiruzen even got more serious and wanted to hand over one of his own people as the murderer. Now that old guy Sarutobi Hiruzen has gone away, Kumogakure must know that Konoha is no longer the Konoha it used to be. Hyuga Nariku's decisive words fell, and a group of Konoha ninjas cheered loudly. That's right. Those damn thieves from Kumogakure should have been taught a lesson long ago. We have been bullied to the point where we are still thinking of handing over our own people. We in Konoha will not be offended by this. Konoha is no longer the Konoha of that old guy Hiruzen Sarutobi. A group of ninjas were excited. Sarutobi Hiruzen's tolerant attitude towards foreign affairs had long made them dissatisfied. And today, after this battle with Hyuga Nariku, They seem to have returned to the time when Namikaze Minato was so powerful that he shocked the ninjas. World time. That's it? Narashikaku looked at the excited people and nodded slowly. Konoha is no longer the Konoha it used to be. On the one hand, its attitude. After driving away Sarutobi Hiruzen, Konoha will never do anything like handing over its own people to others. On the other hand is strength. In today's battle, they on Konoha's side didn't lose a single member, and they wiped out all of Kumogakure's nearly 3,000 troops. Of the assault force that attacked Kumogakure, only the UP team who fled in embarrassment, and Yukito, the two-tailed Jinchuriki who was unconscious, were left. After all the remaining people were wiped out, even their corpses were swallowed up by the explosion of the tailed beast Jade. Hinatan Nariku slowly flew aside and lifted up the unconscious to Yukito. Speaking of which, Yamu is very lucky today. After being knocked away by Hinatan Nariku's repulsion, he lost his fighting power, but he did not exit the complete tailed beast transformation. It was also because of this that the two Yuki talents managed to survive the explosion of the tailed beast Jade just now. After placing the prisoner Yamokyoto on the ink-colored giant eagle, Hinatan Nariku looked around. Since everyone has no objections, let's set off and hit Union Village. Yes. Lord Nariku. A group of people responded loudly. Kumogakure forced me, and the Third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 69. 3 days later, Union Village. I don't know when Lord Raikage will return from this expedition. I don't care about this, I just want to know where Raikage-sama will hit this time. The two ninjas guarding the village were bored and chatting away. It shouldn't go too far. It'll probably be over if we occupy a little more territory. Be bold. A ninja guarding the village sneered and said. The 3,000 people Raikage-sama brought out are all elites, and they might be able to attack Konoha directly. Unlikely. Another ninja guarding the village replied without confidence. Wait. Who is that? The other person suddenly stood up and looked at the figure that suddenly came into view in the distance. Two people with the same dark skin, one carrying the other on his back, were running towards Union Village. Yes, it's Raikage-sama and Hai-sama. After the two approached, they finally saw their faces clearly. The two ninjas guarding the village were shocked. What's going on? Why are only Raikage-sama and Hai-sama back? Where are the others? Not long after, in the Raikage building. What? All 3,000 troops were wiped out. Dode looked at the extremely weak 4th Raikage and said in disbelief. He has been the Raikage's assistant since the 3rd Raikage period. In Kumogakure village, he is almost the highest ranking figure after the 4th Raikage. Right, Raikage-sama, did you make something wrong? Tutai said with a trembling voice. Just now, the ninja guarding the village suddenly came to report that the 4th Raikage and Kiribi were back. Only the two of them are back. Even. After the 4th Raikage carried Kiribi to the entrance of Kumogakure village, he fell to the ground from exhaustion and passed out. The 4th Raikage opened his mouth, but he didn't know what to say. After the tailed beast Tama was rebounded, Kiribi controlled the 8 tails and tried his best to survive the explosion of the tailed beast Tama. After that, Kiribi fell into a coma. After the 8-tailed Gyuki left a tentacle to confuse the other party, he took Kiribi all the way back. From the Kingdom of Fire, we passed through the Kingdom of Fields and the Kingdom of Moon. 3 whole days. With the 4th Raikage's physique, he was already seriously injured and still ran for so long. I barely managed to hold on and return to Union Village, but I couldn't hold on anymore and fell down. All dead. Dode saw the look on the 4th Raikage's face and understood what it meant. I felt a little dazed for a moment. Of the nearly 3,000 people in the team, indeed no one could come back. No, where is Yamuran? She also. Tutai suddenly stopped after speaking. I didn't dare to say the next words. 3,000 troops were lost at once, and if 2 Jinchuriki, Yukito, were also lost, the blow to Kumogakure village would be severe. I am not sure. The fourth Hokage reluctantly shook his head. Yukito was knocked out by that damn bastard and could not get up again. Then the tailed beast jade exploded, and I wasn't sure if Yukito could survive. That is it possible to still be alive? Dode suddenly breathed a sigh of relief. As long as he is alive, he may come back. Although he was defeated this time, Konoha's third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen should not dare to keep their Jinchuriki without returning them. It's not right. How could Konoha go on an expedition so soon? Where is their third Hokage? Can you make the decision to go on an expedition so quickly? What's more, even if Konoha went out to fight directly after getting the news, it would be impossible to stop their Kumogakure assault force so quickly. I don't know about that old guy Sarutobi. But the ninjas of Konoha flew directly over on a group of strange birds. The fourth Hokage recalled with a gloomy expression. Lord Hokage. At the door of Hokage's office, suddenly Kumogakure Umbu came to report. Lord Hokage, Sarutobi Hiruzen, the third Hokage of Konoha, came outside the village alone. What? The fourth Hokage broke the table with an angry palm. Who does he think he is, Hiruzen Sarutobi? Do you think he is that bastard Hinata Naraku? How dare you come here and make noise all by yourself? As he said that, the fourth Hokage was so angry that he smashed the window and jumped out, rushing towards the entrance of the village. Hokage-sama, I heard that none of the people who went on the expedition came back. Hokage-sama, is this a rumor? How could no one come back? Lord Hokage. On the way, villagers who saw the fourth Hokage coming out of the Hokage building came forward to ask. Listening to these voices, the fourth Hokage became increasingly irritated. He didn't know how to explain this fiasco to the people in the village. Not daring to stop at all, the fourth Hokage rushed straight towards the village entrance. Sarutobi Hiruzen, you old man actually dare to come to our Kumogakure. Seeing Hiruzen Sarutobi talking to the village ninja, the fourth Hokage punched him in anger. Lord Hokage, poof. After being injured for 3 days and 3 nights without stopping, Sarutobi Hiruzen, who had just escaped to Cloud Hidden Village, was knocked away by the fourth Hokage. A mouthful of blood spurted out. Hokage-sama, misunderstanding. The ninja who guarded the village, who was stunned for a moment, hurriedly stepped forward to stop him. If he didn't stop him, Sarutobi Hiruzen would be beaten to death. A moment later. You mean, you defected? The fourth Hokage, as well as a group of Kumogakure senior officials who followed, looked at each other. Why are today's things so magical? First, all the Kumogakure assault troops were wiped out, and only the Hokage and Kiribi escaped. Now, listen to said that the third Hokage of Konoha defected? Are they dreaming now? Or are they under someone's illusion? Indeed. Sarutobi Hiruzen had an old face. He ran away. For a long time, I almost lost my strength. Originally, he hoped to use Kumogakure's power to take revenge on Hinata Naraku. However, after he came over, he was severely beaten by the fourth Hokage and was almost killed on the spot. What is going on over there in Konoha? Dode is completely confused. The Hokage has defected. Who is leading the blocking force in Konoha? Sarutobi Hiruzen was silent for a while, sighed, and told everything that happened before. After everything was said, the scene was silent. Hyuga Naraku united with the major clan leaders to depose you, and even dismissed you and sent you to jail, and then you defected. Dode summarized and asked. Although Sarutobi Hiruzen made a lot of beautifications in his narration, Dode still understood the general story. Sarutobi Hiruzen's face darkened and he nodded silently. Why not kill him? Why not kill that bastard? The fourth Hokage thought of the annihilated assault troops, his eyes turned red, and he roared at Sarutobi Hiruzen. Do you think I don't want to? No one can kill that damned scourge. Sarutobi Hiruzen is also angry. What about the caged bird? Isn't he a member of the Hinata family? Kill him with a caged bird. Tried it? It didn't work, Sarutobi Hiruzen said angrily. Then what use do I need from you, an old thing? The fourth Hokage stepped forward and punched Sarutobi Hiruzen in the face again. You can't handle the affairs of your own village well, and you can't kill Hyuga Naraku, the scourge, and even the whole village's ninja clan asked for his removal. Why don't you die? How come you still have the nerve to live? The fourth Hokage punched Sarutobi Hiruzen with one punch after another. Although both of them escaped for 3 days and 3 nights, the fourth Hokage was already stronger and had just rested. After a while, some physical strength was restored. Therefore, Sarutobi Hiruzen, who was tired and hungry, had almost no power to fight back. Hokage-sama, stop fighting, or you will be killed if you fight again. The Kumogakure ninjas next to him stepped forward to stop him. Where are your vanguard troops of Kumogakure? Asked Hiruzen Sarutobi, who was hiding in embarrassment. He fled to Kumogakure because he wanted to use Kumogakure's power to get back. Revenge against Hyuga Naraku. Revenge against Konoha for betraying him. Suddenly, Sarutobi Hiruzen discovered that's not right at all. He had received information before that the Kumogakure assault force was personally led by the fourth Hokage. Why did the fourth Hokage appear in Kumogakure village again now? The words fell. This time, it was not just the fourth Hokage. The other Kumogakure ninjas gradually looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen with unkind eyes. How dare you mention this? If you had killed Hinata Naraku earlier, those 3,000 of us would not have died. The fourth Hokage said with hatred in his tone. Sarutobi Hiruzen was stunned for a moment. What's the situation? All dead? How could it be so fast? According to his estimation, it would take a lot of time for Konoha to summon an interception force. The journey will take at least a day or 2. After this, it is hard to say whether the Konoha blocking force without him as Hokage can stop the Kumogakure assault force. Kumogakure's assault force has been completely wiped out. Sarutobi Hiruzen asked in disbelief. You bastard! Are you deliberately irritating us? The fourth Hokage was furious and hit Hiruzen Sarutobi again. This time, no one stopped him. They even wanted to step forward and fight with him. Lord Hokage. Some Umbu came over to report the news. News came from the perception class that a large number of ninjas were riding strange big birds and were coming towards the village. What? The fourth Hokage stopped beating Sarutobi Hiruzen and was shocked. How dare they attack our Union village? Kumogakure forced me, and the third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 70. Terrace. Go gather some men and come with me to kill them. The fourth Hokage said angrily. They have already retreated, but the ninjas of Konoha still dare to chase Kumogakure to the village. If they don't fight back, do they think they are easy to bully? Hokage-sama, please calm down. Tutai quickly dissuaded him. You have just come back not long ago, and you are still more unconscious than the adults. What's more, we just lost so many people. From Dode's point of view, even if we want to fight, we can't fight back at this time. Their combination of Kumogakure is not in the best condition right now. And if they want to fight out, they have to recruit people in a hurry. The fourth generation Hokage's face darkened, to thought of these questions. Damn it, Hyuga Naraku, let you live a few more days. After saying this with hatred, the fourth Hokage suppressed his anger and said. Umbu, go notify the barrier team and open the regeneration barrier. Yes. Umbu subconsciously hesitated for a while before replying. When did they, Kumogakure, also end up like this? Everyone else was attacking the village, but they still had to endure it. Over Union Village, hundreds of black giant eagles were circling. Although they flew over, The Konoha ninjas arrived a little later than the Fourth Hokage. Kumogakure's assault force had already penetrated deep into the Land of Fire. Therefore, on their way here, some people had to be left behind to clean up the situation. When they arrived, an invisible barrier had opened over Union Village. Art Fire Escape Ho Fireball. Fire Escape, the art of dragon fire. The Konoha ninjas standing on top of the giant eagle tentatively attacked the barrier below. However, the invisible barrier did not fluctuate at all. I tried it with chakra-sucking bugs, and the barrier seemed to be renewable. Jiwei Abarame, who collected the scattered bugs, reported to Hinata Nariku. Regeneration barrier. Hyaga Nariku nodded thoughtfully. This barrier also appeared in the original work and was very strong. In the Fourth Ninja World War, in order to protect the two Jinchuriki of Naruto and Kirby, the Ninja Coalition a regeneration barrier was placed on Turtle Island to prevent the two Jinchuriki from escaping. Later, it was Naruto and Kirby who joined forces to break the barrier. Kirby, who transformed into a half-tailed beast, punched the knot. On the world, behind is Naruto in the nine-tailed chakra mode, who successfully penetrated the barrier with the eight-tailed beast Jade. Don't worry, don't care about this moment. Hyaga Nariku comforted the Konoha ninja beside him. Because the attacks failed to break the barrier, some people felt a little impatient for a moment. Yes. Lord Nariku. An Uchiha ninja who has been trying to use fire escape said respectfully. There is no doubt whether Hyaga Nariku can break through this barrier. They have seen Hyaga Nariku's strength before. Even the proud Uchiha expressed their respect for Hyaga Nariku's strength. Admiration. The Uchiha clan worships the strong. What's more, Hyaga Nariku is a pupil ninja similar to them. Hinata Nariku. You bastard, how dare you come here? The Fourth Hokage who returned to the Hokage building looked at Hinata Nariku standing on the ink-colored giant eagle with red eyes filled with hatred. Ah! Hinata Nariku sneered and said. Hokage-sama led his troops to invade the Fire Country, and now that we have beaten him back, he looks like this. You damn brat! The Fourth Hokage had veins popping out on his forehead, and he was about to rush out. Hokage-sama, calm down. Tao Tai quickly stopped the Fourth Hokage. He felt a little tired. Not to mention that your current condition is not at its peak. Even if you were in perfect condition before, you are still no match for him. What's more, the opponent is flying in the sky now. What do you want? Go fight with others. In Union Village. Seeing the giant black eagle hovering in the sky, the villagers of Union Village also walked out of their homes. It's a ninja from Konoha. Damn it! How dare the ninjas of Konoha attack our hidden cloud village? Where is Hokage-sama? Why don't you take someone back immediately? I heard that Hokage-sama went out with 3,000 men and was wiped out. Only Hokage-sama and Bai-sama escaped. How could it be possible? Who are you listening to? I saw the Hokage-sama and Hidden Master fainted before and were carried back to the Hokage building. A group of villagers from Union Village were talking a lot. However, most people did not believe that the 3,000 troops they sent out would be completely wiped out. Hinata Nariku raised a smile and said. By the way, we originally planned to bring you the corpses of more than 3,000 people in Union Village. But it's a pity. The explosion range of the eight-tailed beast Jade was too wide, and those people couldn't even leave a single body behind. Asshole, the Fourth Hokage's eyes turned red, he opened Dode's hand and jumped out of the Hokage building. Hinata Nariku, do you dare to come down and fight me to the death? Oh! Hyaga Nariku asked with great interest. If I wanted to kill you before, I could have killed you countless times. Moreover, if you hadn't insisted on letting Kirby use the tailed beast Jade, none of those Kumogakure ninjas would have been left behind. After saying this, things were fine on the laying side, but there was an uproar among the Union villagers below. Were all those 3,000 people really wiped out? Or even because he died on the eight-tailed beast jade. Our ninja actually died on one of our own. Raikage-sama, what on earth is going on? The people in Union Village couldn't help but ask the fourth Raikage. Nonsense. Those people were obviously killed by you before the tailed beast jade exploded. The fourth Raikage was trembling with anger. People in his own village actually started to question him. Yeah? Those people are all dead now anyway, who knows? Hyuga Naruko replied as if it didn't matter. It doesn't matter whether those words could be misleading or not, they were just said casually. With a chuckle, Hinata Naruko looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen. Sarutobi Hiruzen, you actually defected to Kumogakure village. He suddenly thought of an interesting idea. Lord Raikage, why does Kumogakure village want to protect our Hokage who defected from Konoha? Hyuga Naruko asked with a serious expression. The fourth Raikage looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen with an expression as if he had eaten a fly. He wanted to say that this old guy came to their cloud-hidden village on his own. However, before he could explain, Hinata Naruko spoke again. I hereby issue an ultimatum to Kumogakure village to hand over Sarutobi Hiruzen within 7 days. Otherwise, Kumogakure will wait to be razed to the ground. Sarutobi Hiruzen below frowned and didn't understand what it meant. He couldn't understand why Hyuga Naruko didn't just start a war against Kumogakure. In Kumogakure now, the UB group is not at its peak, and they just lost 3,000 elite ninjas. Now is obviously the best time to start a war with Kumogakure. If it takes a few days, when Kumogakure has recovered his breath, it may not be so easy to deal with. But the next second, Sarutobi Hiruzen suddenly saw the people around him looking at his unkind eyes. He suddenly realized that his current situation seemed to be the same as that of Hyuga Naruko before. Before, Kumogakure issued an ultimatum, requiring that Hyuga Naruko be handed over within 7 days. Now, Hyuga Naruko issued an ultimatum, requiring Kumogakure to be handed over within 7 days. Hand him over? Thinking of this, Sarutobi Hiruzen's expression suddenly changed. His current situation is worse than before Hyuga Naruko. At least there is someone willing to protect Hyuga Naruko. But no one in Kumogakure cares about his life or death. Sarutobi Hiruzen suddenly wondered if he had made a mistake in coming to Kumogakure village. He obviously wanted to use Kumogakure to avenge Hyuga Naruko, but now Kumogakure also wanted to kill him. Above, the ink-colored giant Hinata Naruko on the eagle chuckled twice. I hope Sarutobi Hiruzen is fine these days. Then, I will wait for Kumogakure's reply. After saying that, Hinata Naruko looked up at the thunder clouds above Union and began to form seals. Before I say goodbye, I would like to give you a greeting gift. Union Village is built between peaks. There are often thunder echoes on the peaks. In such an environment, it would be a pity not to have a unicorn. That bastard, what kind of ninjutsu is that? The fourth Raikage looked at the thunder and lightning that kept wandering in the clouds, and said in confusion. Don't worry, our barrier is strong enough to protect against tailed beasts. It's impossible for ordinary ninjutsu to break the regeneration barrier. Tao Tai said with confidence. As soon as he finished speaking, Hinata Naruko's thunder and lightning traction was also completed. Thunder escape, Kylin. The thunder beast Kylin, which was amplified by the natural power above Union Village, poked its head out from the thunder clouds and stared at the thunder shadow building below. Roar! With a roar that resounded across the sky, the ferocious thunder beast blasted away. He broke through the barrier above the Raikage Tower and slammed into the Raikage Tower below. Damn it, get out of here. The expression of the fourth Raikage suddenly changed, and he took the lead to jump out. Boom! The Raikage building built on the high mountain suddenly collapsed under the impact of the fierce thunder beast. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Kumogakure forced me, and the Third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 71. Iwagakure Village, Tsuchikage Building. Onoki, who had just heard the news from his subordinates, was stunned. You mean, that old guy Hiruzen Sarutobi defected? Onoki subconsciously held his waist. When he heard the news just now, he stood up in shock and twisted his waist. How can it be? How could such outrageous news come back? Onoki couldn't help scolding. Absolutely true. The Iwagakure ninja who reported the report said very seriously. When he just learned the news, he subconsciously thought it was a lie. The shadow of a village defected? Has such a thing ever happened in the ninja world? The spies in Konoha said that a notice was posted directly outside the Hokage building in Konoha. The notice said that the third-generation Hokage of Konoha was impeached by all the major clan heads because he wanted to hand over a ninja named Hyuga Nariku in the face of Kumogakure's threat. Onoki nodded slowly when he heard this. Not to mention the magical content of Naruto's defection, it is indeed possible for that old guy Sarutobi Hiruzen to hand over his own people. So, are these real? Sarutobi Hiruzen really defected? After pondering for a while, Onoki couldn't help laughing after accepting the news. Ha 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 ha, that guy Sarutobi Hiruzen is also today. Everyone asked for his dismissal and was dismissed from his post and imprisoned. Onoki smiled and burst into tears. Sarutobi Hiruzen was similar to him, both came to power at the end of the First Ninja War. If it were said that more than 10 years ago, Onoki still looked up to Sarutobi Hiruzen. So, for more than 10 years, Sarutobi Hiruzen, who did not dare to go to the battlefield again, has become more and more looked down upon by him. That is to say, there are many talents in Konoha, and the White Fang Sunin are all golden and shining, and each one can support the overall situation, so that the old guy can stay behind. Onoki snorted and said disdainfully. After thinking about it, he felt it was a pity. If Hiruzen Sarutobi was still the Hokage of Konoha, it would be more beneficial to their Iwagakure village. A Hokage who is good at internal fighting will gradually weaken the strength of Konoha. Onoki flipped through the report at the back. The Konoha ninjas, led by that little guy named Hyuga Nariku, fought Kumogakure back. Recalling the current situation of his family, Onoki suddenly felt a little depressed. There was no one in their Iwagakure village who could inherit his dust escape. There are so many talents in Konoha. Onoki slumped in his seat and muttered to himself. Sand Hidden Village. Was the Konoha White Fang incident a conspiracy planned by the Third Hokage? After a while of shock, the fourth Kazekage Logosha noticed this. Yes, this is what the announcement said outside the Hokage building, and everyone in Konoha can see it. The Tsunagakure ninja who reported the report said respectfully. Is this so? The fourth Kazekage nodded thoughtfully. He recalled an siege led by the third Kazekage. At that time, Tsunagakure village suddenly received news from an unknown source that Konoha White Fang was coming to perform a mission somewhere in the Kingdom of Wind. Later, the third Kazekage led a team to encircle and suppress them, and they met Konoha White Fang as expected. Now it seems that the person who informed them of the news should be Hiruzen Sarutobi's spy. It's a pity that Konoha White Fang actually committed suicide because of such a thing. The fourth Kazekage shook his head and said. Although Konoha White Fang killed many of their Tsunagakure people, they still admitted that Konoha White Fang was indeed a strong man. But thinking about his own affairs, the fourth Kazekage suddenly felt a little guilty. Kirigakure village has recently been asking for them to hand over the hero of Sand Hidden Village. Burnt release ninja Yekara. Because Yekang killed too many Kirigakure ninjas in the war, Kirigakure insisted on this request. Well. The fourth Kazekage shook his head, not knowing what to do. Kirigakure village. Uchiha Obito, who has secretly controlled the fourth generation of Mizukage, received news from the Kirigakure ninja and White Zetsu at the same time. At first, Obito was shocked for a while by Sarutobi Hiruzen's defection, but he soon noticed the news from White Zetsu. You mean, Konoha's troops, led by Hyuga Nariku, defeated Kumogakure's assault force on the same day. The specific battle situation is unclear, but Baiju who was closer was dead, said a Baiju who came back to report. The battlefield where the battle took place, covering a radius of more than 10 kilometers, was completely razed to the ground by the tailed beast Jade. This White Zetsu is still frightened. If it hadn't been further away from the center of the battlefield, it probably wouldn't have been able to escape. So nothing is known about that battle now. Obito couldn't help but frown. What is certain is that the Konoha ninja is indeed the commander-in-chief of Hyuga Nariku, and he arrived on a group of strange black birds. Is he Hinata Nariku? Obito couldn't help but mutter to himself. He still has an impression of this name. He and Hinata Nariku were classmates in the ninja school. In his impression, Hinata Nariku's talent is not bad, but it is not too exaggerated. At least, not like Kakashi, a 5-year-old genin and a 6-year-old shuyunin. Snort. That guy actually led the team. Is there no one in Konoha now? Uchiha Obito mocked. Obito. Shocking news. Suddenly, Baiju rushed back again and shouted in an exaggerated tone. I just came back from Union Village. The entrance to Union Village was blocked by a guy named Hinata Nariku. Impossible. Obito subconsciously denied it. With the bellicose atmosphere of Kumoyan Village, how could such a thing be tolerated? It's absolutely true. I saw in Kumogakure that only 2 of the 4th Hokage and the 8-tailed Jinchuriki came back. It looks miserable. Baiju, who just came back, vowed. By the way, that Hyuga Nariku also used a thunder escape ninjutsu, which instantly broke Kumogakure's barrier and shattered the Hokage building below. This. Obito and Black Zetsu next to him looked at each other. What happened next? Didn't Union fight back? Obito asked. Later, it disappeared. The ninjas of Konoha blocked the entrance of Kumogakure's village. Kumogakure kept the protective barrier open to prevent anyone from entering. By the way, that Hyuga Nariku asked Kumogakure to hand over Sarutobi Hiruzen within 7 days, otherwise Kumogakure village will be razed. Baiju, who rushed back, said one sentence after another. Flatten Union Village? How dare he? Does he have that strength? Obito asked subconsciously. Even if he wants to level the cloud-hidden village, he may need to rely on the power of the tailed beast. And after activating the power of the kaleidoscope and inheriting Uchiha Madara's mantle, Obito no longer regards any of his former the students at the same time are in the eyes. Even Kakashi, Obito is confident that he can defeat easily. What's more, in Obito's opinion, Hinata Nariku is even worse than Kakashi. If that guy named Hinata Nariku wasn't strong enough, Kumogakure should have fought him back on the spot. Heizetsu, who was covered in darkness, said sadly. Obito was silent. What Heizetsu said did make sense. After thinking for a while, Obito said. I will go to Union Village to have a look. That old guy, Sarutobi Hiruzen, actually defected to Kumogakure. It's interesting. I hope that old classmate can give me a little surprise. Obito touched his right eye and said confidently. With his divine power, he does not need to fear any opponent in the ninja world. Kumogakure forced me, and the Third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 72. Outside Union Village. In the Konoha ninja camp. After issuing an ultimatum to Kumogakure and using his thunder release Kirin to destroy the Hokage building, Hyuga Nariku did nothing else. Directly have people stationed at the entrance of Union's village. Depending on the situation, the barrier class in Union Village is preparing to work 24 hours a day. Although Hyuga Nariku can break Kumogakure's barrier, he is not in a hurry. It would be nice to make it a little messy inside. but it's okay to cause some trouble for Kumogakure. If the thunder and lightning is too strong, choose a weaker thundercloud. The most important thing about Kirin's ninjutsu is the control of a large amount of thunder chakra. Hyuga Naruko said to a group of thunder release ninjas in front of him. He has already passed on the thunder release and Kirin ninjutsu. I have to say that the conditions in Union Village are really suitable for practicing this ninjutsu. Every one of them, the mountain peaks reach straight into the sky. There is thunder echoing in the sky almost all the time. The ninjas who try to practice this ninjutsu directly ride on the giant bird of the super beast fake painting and fly over the cloud-hidden village. On the one hand, they practice ninjutsu. On the one hand, if the thunder and lightning cannot be controlled, just blast it down. Because of this, few people in Union Village now go out casually. After all, you can often see thunder and lightning flashing overhead when you go out. Even though it is difficult for most people to break through the barrier with their lightning escape, watching lightning strike down is not a good experience. Thanks for the advice, Naruko-sama. A group of thunder release ninjas expressed their gratitude with admiring expressions. Such a powerful thunder release ninjutsu such as thunder release Kirin can be spread without any secrets. Lord Naruko is simply too generous. Remember to bring a Hyuga ninja with each team to be careful of Kumogakure's sneak attacks. Seeing a group of people excitedly boarding the Super Beast pseudo-painted giant bird and wanting to try it above Kumogakure, Hinata Naruko quickly reminded him. Although it is unlikely that Kumogakure would dare to open the barrier for a sneak attack, he still needs to be careful. Every time the team leads a Hyuga clan member to monitor Kumogakure's chakra movements, just in case. It still looks much worse than what you drew by Naruko. Narashikaku looked at the flying giant bird, shook his head and said with a bitter smile. The Super Beast pseudo-painted giant bird was not painted by Hyuga Naruko, but by the three of them, Ino Shikakucho. The three of them have been painting it recently. I am studying this ninjutsu. However, the results are not ideal. What I draw is just a black pattern on a white background, and the strength is far from good. More importantly, for them, Inoshika butterfly, if they want to use the secret technique, requires a ninja from the Akimichi family, plus a ninja from the Nara or Yamanaka families. The yin release chakra of the Nara and Yamanaka families is used to construct the body. The yang release chakra of the Akimichi family is used to inject consciousness. That's right, no matter how you look at it, there is absolutely no difference between the fake paintings of super beasts you drew and the real ones. Hiki Yamanaka also nodded in admiration. When he first saw the ink-colored giant eagle prepared by Hyuga Naruko, he thought it was a real ninja eagle. Later he found out that it was actually a painting. Every feather clearly looks like it's all real. It just seems real. Hyuga Naruko shook his head and said. At the same time, he grabbed the brush and quickly drew a crow on the paper. With the injection of yin-yang chakra, the crow quickly jumped out of the paper as if it came alive. However, Hyuga Naruko suddenly a kunao appeared in his hand, and with a slight swipe, the crow's body instantly disintegrated and turned into a pile of ink. It's essentially just ink, not really life at all. Narashikaku's expression suddenly froze in place. Did he just see the kunao in Hinata Naruko's hand suddenly appear? What happened? Naruko, this kunao of yours. Narashikaku looked surprised and uncertain. He remembered their Nara family's description of the ultimate yin escape, a form is born from the invisible. Just dead things. Hyuga Naruko turned the kunao in his hand twice, and it turned into chakra and dissipated. With the intensity of his escape now that he has turned on the reincarnation eye, there is no problem in creating dead objects. In fact, it can be exactly the same as the real thing. No matter it is external or internal. In the original work, Atsutsuki Tonari once created a cage out of thin air. This is the ultimate embodiment of yin escape. Creation out of thin air. But, for living creatures like crows, Just adding yin escape to the extreme not enough? Does this mean that you really made that Konao using yin escape? However, Narashikaku's shock did not diminish at all. After seeing the Konao disappear, he was completely convinced of his idea. Using yin escape to create things out of thin air, how is this possible? Yamanaka. Kiki stuttered. After all, the fake paintings of super beasts still have the basic shape drawn with ink. And the Konao in Hinatan Nariku's hand just now clearly appeared and disappeared suddenly. Using yin-yang to create things out of thin air, they don't understand. In the Yamanaka family's classics, it is almost a legend. It can only make a dead thing. If you want to make a living creature, you need to reach the ultimate level of yin and yang. Hinatan Nariku shook his head and said, "Do you still want to create living creatures?" Narashikaku and Yamanaka Kiki were both speechless. In their view, being able to create dead objects out of thin air is already considered a divine method. And if one can create life out of thin air, it can be said to be a god. Hinatan Nariku chuckled. Two sounds, no more explanation. If you can also fill up the yang escape, it is not impossible to create life out of thin air. Yang escape chakra, 3350/10000. Previously defeated the two Yukato, the fourth Hokage, and Kiribi, which brought him 350, 500, and 500 chakra points respectively. After filling up the yin escape points, the top priority is of course yang yin. When yin and yang merge into one, there will be the legendary power to create all things. However, after maxing out his yin escape, Hinatan Nariku discovered the difference between himself and the Sage of Six Paths back then. He still remembered that according to the official information in his previous life, the Immortal of Six Paths had reached the level of blood succession snare. He had always been confused about this. But when I think of another point, I feel that this seems to make sense. Black Zetsu, the creation of Otsutsuki Kagaya captured by the blood successor, has survived in the ninja world for thousands of years. The nine-tailed beasts created by the Sage of Six Paths dividing the 10 tails also lived for thousands of years. Immortality and immortality are the characteristics of blood succession snare. Thinking about it this way, it is very reasonable that the Immortal of Six Paths once reached the level of blood successor snare. However, the Sage of Six Paths died again. At least now it should be said that only the spirit body is left. Hyuga Nariku can be sure that even if he increases yang escape to the extreme, he can at most create living creatures that are alive and will die. It was impossible to create something that could live for thousands of years and be nearly immortal. Even now, he himself cannot achieve immortality. Even if you can enter the pseudo-6th level through the turning eye chakra mode, you are still far away from the immortal blood inheritance snare. If he stays in this state all the time, sooner or later he will grow old and die. So, how did the Six Paths Sage, who had never eaten chakra fruit, reach the realm of blood successor snare? Hinatan Nariku thought with some distress. Lord Nariku. The two-tailed Jinchuriki is awake. A Konoha ninja hurriedly ran over to inform. The two Yukato were knocked unconscious by the eight-tailed beast Jade before, and were directly captured by Hyuga Nariku. Hinatan Nariku had an idea. Maybe you can ask about the Six Paths Sage, tailed beast?